Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. Here we're here for my team, episode 3 here for the Australian GP here in the land down under. Thank you guys for so much supporting the series already. It's been wonderful, and really excited for this racetrack. Obviously the track has been newly redone, so it's a lot faster, and they got rid of some of the chicanes I don't like. But as you can see right now, we're just doing some activities. We put Oscar Piastri some training, some reaction training, and then we also gave a little bit of morale to our powers and what do you want to call it, the departments. Also, as well, you saw in the performance index, we are the third fastest car still. We really have not made any big upgrades coming into Australia. They're not big upgrades. I think we did add just a durability upgrade coming in, which should be for the gearbox, so that'll obviously be important. The weight redistribution upgrade that came in, which is going to be important because obviously the weight's going to help the car as well. We do have a major rear downforce upgrade coming on. We already had a front downforce upgrade. We can't actually do a another front downforce upgrade due to the department capacity reached, but you know, I think we might do a weight reduction possibly. But we also have a cheap engine upgrade. We also have a fuel efficiency with the ECU, so the ECU actually would help the, we can underfuel the car a little bit more, and, you know, we can have good fuel saving. But obviously a lot of these tracks are going to require a lot of fuel, but I think we're going to might go with a rate reduction upgrade as we do. It's really cheap right now. And also, looking at other upgrades, if we could possibly do the ECU upgrade if we want. We also can do an engine upgrade, but I think we're going to go for ECU for fuel efficiency. That'll get on time for Imola, which will be the next race. And here we are for a Pirelli Hot Lap feature. And here it is. We're in the Mercedes, and it's a speed zone thing. I forgot what it was, but it's raining. I have not done the drift one yet, except I have used the supercars, and I've been doing them in time trial and dry, and I actually like drifting them because they're actually really fun. But you can see as we go down to the next turn, you can see that this part of the track has been completely changed, as it was kind of like you brake and turn early, but now you brake a little bit late, you brake a little bit earlier, but also it's a sharp turn, and then they added more curb on the exit. Coming to the line, you got to get a 153.69, but we only get a 142.5. We kind of backed off there at the end because we knew we weren't going to get it. But we're not even in the bronze, silver, or gold yet, so that's kind of unfortunate, but we go again. So here we are once again for our try once again in the Mercedes. As we go down, we're 188 down this long stretch, which will be good for overtaking on Sunday. But going through this curb, try not to take much of these curbs anymore due to how the car, you know, it'll easily bottle out on some of these curbs. And obviously what we've seen in Canada, as you guys remember, when drivers are taking so much curb, the car literally jumps in the air, which, you know, that's not the greatest when your car jumps in the air, because then you're going to lose control of it and you're not going to get that much traction. We took a little too much curb there at the end, but actually we gained a little bit of time on here, as we might get into, we were so close actually to the gold, but it's only to the silver, so just a couple kilometers off from it. We need to get a 153, but we get a 151, so we're in the silver once again, which is a big improvement, obviously. So here we are for our third and final run here, and basically I think this run I was like really trying to get this in, because obviously, you know, these Pirelli Hot Lap features, you know, once you do them a lot, then you'll really understand like how to gain time. And plus, the supercars are actually really fun to drive. You know, I was a little bit like skeptical, like, are these things even going to be fun? But they're actually really fun to drive in the Pirelli Hot Lap feature as well. So, and right there, that's what happened. We tried to brake a little bit later, and we're not even going to probably get into the, well, we gained a little bit of time back there, but not too much time. We didn't even get into the silver, but for that final run. But we did get a silver medal anyways, because we did get it on our second run, and we also, I think, bronze as well, so we overpassed bronze as well. And then podium pass, no one really cares for that, but here we are getting ready for FP1. So here we go on the Performance Index coming into Australia. Sorry, my mic accidentally unplugged. You can see we're the third best team. Aston Martin's actually really close to us. McLaren is kind of going away, which fortunate, but we're still ahead of Williams. That's all that matters going into this weekend as well. Just looking at the settings, you know, nothing really important in the settings, but as we get ready, we actually raised the AI to 90. We're getting there a little bit, just trying to find the AI right balance here for the Australian GP FP1 here on a Friday. So here we go doing track climation. This part of the track has been also renovated with the curbs. As you can see, not confident. I was so far in FP1, I actually wasn't really confident in the car. As you can see, Oscar actually put in a really good lap time. That corner, you go into their 6th gear. I actually went in there in 5th gear. Obviously, I was still learning the circuit because this is actually my first time on this circuit. I didn't do a single lap on time trial until I think after FP1 I actually got a little bit of, like, you know, some of the braking zones. But you know, getting into a time trial car, which is a faster car, and then getting into, you know, a tractor like this one, you can't really find anything. So, kind of iffy there, but here we are though. So, yeah, here we go for the race program as well. So far, 1 second off. I feel like every time I come to Australia, I always struggle though with just passing all the practice programs. But that's actually Carlos Sainz, I believe, that's behind us, and yeah, Sainz actually hit the wall there. Coming off the exit, as you can see right here, let's take a look. He's in 4th gear, and yeah, just overcorrected a little bit. Took too much of that wall. So here we are for FP1 results. Oscar Piastri going 11th. That was a good result from him on a soft tire run. Meanwhile, we P22, 21. Just ahead of the Alpine as well. That's not great, but it's FP1. It's not the end of the world, you know. Practice times don't really necessarily matter, I guess you could say, but that's clearly not a good result. Here's the resource points coming in. We didn't get really that much. We actually did only one practice program. We actually failed them, which I was kind of shocked about, but can't pass everything, so got a lot of DRS and drag reduction upgrades coming in. But the pace is not there, and I'm not really comfortable with the car going into this weekend. But it's Saturday, you know what that means. It's time to qualify for the 2022 Australian GP. Here we are in Australia for qualifying here as we go on for our first lap here. But yeah, I mean, qualifying was difficult for you know, it was. I think Australia difficulty is that just trying to get that 1 lap pace, and that's where I'm struggling a lot. Is with these cars, I've always struggled every time I played these games. It's just trying to connect 1 lap pace. I can never really find the pace, but as you can see, we're just giving the car a little bit, trying not to. I'm still not confident full throttle, and there actually was able to go through full throttle though. But here's this fast sector right here, going into 5th gear. You can actually go in there in 6th as well, but right down here, that's actually where we gained a little bit of time here. This is actually where I gained kind of surprisingly a lot of time because the car is actually really draggy on the straights. It's not really quick as well. No DRS range there, obviously, because of safety issues. Originally the track had a DRS section there, but they didn't necessarily route it due to, obviously, you know, the safety of the drivers. Going down here, I actually gained a little bit too much curve there, but that corner, surprisingly, was actually doing really well here. Little tap on the brake going in there, and this final corner, it's a little bit widened out, but it's gonna obviously give you the best run. Going half throttle here, you can't go full throttle in there. Like, I mean, you never really could go full throttle, but if you went to 5th, you probably could go in there. Come across the line, it's only a 1:21.880, so behind Alex and not even close to Joe. Here we go for a second run here. Actually, weren't really getting a lot of time in the first sector, but then we finally got into the green, but then still losing time on the straight. So this, I think right here, this is where a lot of improvement happened. Just look at the delta go up. It's going up again. And we're actually, I think we're we're actually 6 seconds up, I believe, on the sectors. So it's gonna be a good run here as we come across the line here. It's not gonna be it's not gonna beat Piastri's 100%, but it's definitely gonna improve. As there we go, we actually put a 121.114, so 6 seconds improvement. We're actually ahead of Nicholas Latifi and Mick Schumacher. Still behind Oscar Piastri though, as we come down to turn 1 once again for our final run, and I gave up. Yeah, perfect 360, but that was horrible. P22 on the grid, Oscar Piastri only getting P20, so we do not have pace going into this weekend. Actually, Nicholas Latifi out-qualified me, so guess I'm the worst driver in the grid still. Alex Albon just got in, almost missed out. One of the Alpines actually missed out, so that was a little bit surprising there. But their claims going up, but one lap pace isn't there, but we know we're stronger on the race pace. We saw it in Saudi Arabia. We know we have race pace. Bahrain was just horrible for us. Let's get on to this race, shall we?
It's race day here in Melbourne as we continue with what could shape up to be one of the best Australian Grand Prix ever. The Melbourne circuit is certainly one that needs to be taken seriously. It's a combination of slippery surfaces and difficult corners, making it a very tricky track when it comes to overtaking. Drivers find it hard to pass and will need to take full advantage of those DRS zones if they want to have any hope of breaking through. It's time to see how our drivers are stacking up after yesterday's exciting qualifying session. It's Carlos Sainz in pole position, edging out Max Verstappen, who'll start from P2. Considering the rest of the grid, we have Perez, Hamilton, George Russell and Leclerc, Bottas, Fernando Alonso, Norris and Kevin Magnussen, Gasly, Tsunoda, Mick Schumacher and Ricciardo, Vettel, Stroll, Esteban Ocon and Guan Yu Zhou, Oscar Piastri, Latifi, Albon and the owner driver. Which of these talented drivers will come out on top today? Natalie Pinkham joins me once again in the commentary box. It's fantastic to have you with us today. I'm curious though, how do you think the drivers stop those pre-race nerves from becoming overwhelming when you're lining up on the grid?
Well, I imagine they'll be starting to feel the adrenaline as they anticipate the rundown into turn 1, a bit like preparing to go into battle. The unknown situation will bring nerves, but that's a good thing. It'll keep them focused on the moment and on their surroundings as we build towards the start of the Grand Prix.
So here we are on the grid, P22, dead last for the Australian GP. So we go into our grid slow here, trying to get purple once again, and I hope we get purple because it's actually really important to get purple because you get the best, and we get purple. Let's go. That's a W so far for the weekend. But here we go, getting ready. 5 red lights on. Oscar Piastri starting P19. We start P22, and it's underway for the Australian GP. Got some wheel spin there at the start, but actually got somewhat of a decent start. Latifi and Albon going side by side with Oscar Piastri now. As we go down to turn 1, we send it a little bit down there. Guan Yu Zhou also cutting the, not cutting the corner. And Nicholas Latifi. And Latifi actually gets loose, and we get front wing damage from Latifi. So Nicholas Latifi, it looks like he bottled out of that corner and gave us some damage, which that is not the start to our GP we want. It's only the first lap of the race. We've already broken front wing damage. And I think we're going to box this lap. The damage is a little too much. Now, the damage model, like if you get front wing damage, it's not as bad anymore. But since we got so much damage, it's actually really not that good. We actually make a move on Latifi. We're pretty faster than him on the straight. But as you can see right there, look at the understeer. I mean, we cut the corner. That should have been a corner cut. But we're going to come into the pits this time to change to a soft tire. So this is not the start we wanted to the Australian GP. Hopefully we could try to get a safety car as well. I believe that's Carlos Sainz leading the way up in front. Oscar Piastri actually moved up positions. He's now P18, so he got ahead of Zhou Guanyu. But he's behind that Alpine, I believe, Ocon. Here's the new pit lane, obviously. If you like the pit lane, the walls are a little bit more closer. A lot of BWT stickering. We come into the pits now. So we have to turn it optional, and coming into the pit stop, it's a good turn in. Coming into the stop now, and looks like the team is struggling to get the front wing off, as you can see right there, as they did struggle to get it off. Putting the new front wing on. Tires are on okay, but it's a 10-second stop. That is not good from the team. That is, ooh, that's a rough stop, but now we got cold soft tires on. But this is actually good for us. This could actually benefit us. If there is a safety car, we could probably benefit from this. Fast forward to a couple of laps up. Piastri and Zhou Guanyu actually going at it for the lower midfield positions. Carlos Sainz does a new fast lap of the race. A little bit fast forward in between on lap 2. Softs actually felt really well, but we're getting a little bit of time, but we're still losing some time because I was actually making too many mistakes going through. I made a little too many mistakes, I guess you could say, going to this weekend, because I still wasn't comfortable, you know, with the car, which I feel like I should start getting comfortable with this car, because we got to really start delivering some results, because Piastri's showing results. He showed results in Bahrain, and we got to start proving them that we are the number one at this team, which we are technically number one, but Piastri so far is actually number one because he's better than me so far this season. But going to lap 3, overall though, the track changes actually felt really nice, because I feel like I can gain a little bit more time. It's actually started gaining more time, and fast forward down below, a little bit sideways there coming into that corner. But obviously, you know, at the end of the day, lap 6, so softs kind of were dying off. You know, they really weren't connecting to me. Going into lap 22, and Guanyu Zhou and Zhou Guanyu and Oscar Piastri, you know, they started kind of gapping me a little bit. I think it was more Piastri that started pulling away from Zhou Guanyu for like the first couple of laps, but then obviously going into, we had more battles going in here down into lap 6 now. As you can see, this is probably a battle for lap 7. This is actually Oscar Piastri and Guanyu Zhou going at it, and we're going back into reverse. Let's take another look at this. Guanyu Zhou in the slipstream of Piastri. They go down into the heavy braking zone, and Piastri just stays, oh no he does not, as he's might lose the pit, and he does lose the possession to Zhou Guanyu, as there's Lance Stroll coming into the pits for soft tires, or not soft tires, hard, so that should be his final stop of the day here as we come into lap 9, and I believe we got called into the pits this time. Yeah, so we got called in for the pits, but now we're going to pit for hards, which, to be honest, I don't know why the team didn't really put me on the hards for the first run, but I understand because of obviously our tire conditions, as we actually almost clipped the inside wall there. I did do that in FP1. I forgot to show the clip. It was actually really funny. I actually was making a laugh out of it because I felt like that I should have got that right. We turned in optimal, so purple going in, fast out. Now we are on cold hards, so now the struggle was just trying to get these hards warmed up. Piastri now still an 18 on the medium tires, and our softs are kind of, not the softs, the hard tires are actually coming up a little bit. But going down into these next few corners, as you can see, going through this next corner, problem with cold hards, and the wheel spin bites me.
That looked bad. Are you alright? Let me know you're okay.
Yep, I did that. It's only the 3rd race of the season, we already been into the wall. As you can see, we got a little bit too much wheel spin. We hit that outside curb, and basically at that point, there was no point in continuing. So we just retired after that, unfortunately.
And here's our winner, pulling their Ferrari into Parc Ferme after a fantastic race. So, Natalie, what do you think helped them deliver this result?
Well, they certainly stood out as a driver with tons of confidence on the track. I think their ability to keep their cool, even during some of the more hectic parts of the race, meant they were able to capitalise on the mistakes of other drivers, giving them the opportunity to make their way to the top spot with ease.
Ferrari are at it again. An excellent performance at today's Grand Prix, and they're certainly a team that know what they're doing out there.
So here we go, Carlos Sainz actually winning the GP. That is awesome for him. Wish he could do that in real life. Canada, he probably should have won that, to be fair with you. But Carlos Sainz getting a victory. To be honest, the only reason why I was really happy is because we probably weren't going to get a safety car. So I was already planning on retiring because there's really no point in continuing in that race. But at this point, I just decided to continue. As Oscar Piastri, wow, I don't even think he's in the 14 yet. As go down, is actually Piastri actually retired, same as Charles Leclerc.
Difficult
Wow.
call, but I'd
So
like to say
both
Esteban Ocon,
RJ
he's
Motorsports
just so
cars
gifted at getting the
retire,
most out of his tyres, and he
maybe
showed that
probably not on the
today.
same lap,
It's time
but that
to
is
check out the
difficult
constructors' standings. And
to
pulling
cope with.
further ahead in the
Two
standings,
double
it's
DNFs here,
Red Bull.
but as you see, Carlos
Meanwhile,
Sainz winning the
good work
GP.
from
Charles
Aston
Leclerc
Martin this
also
weekend,
out,
who pushed
but
themselves further up the
McLaren's
order.
Lando Norris, he
And
gets
with
into the
that, we
points. That's
wrap
one of
up
the teams
another
we
weekend
probably
of motorsport
supposedly should be
action.
fighting,
But with
apparently, to
more
the
races
performance index.
lined up,
Both
be sure
Aston
to
Martins
join
having a
us
difficult
when we
weekend,
come
both
back
Williams as well.
with
Ricardo
more
down to
Formula
P15,
One.
the home favorite, not doing well. Zhou Guanyu, Mick Schumacher, Yuki Tsunoda, Pierre Gasly. Esteban Ocon from P17 actually, a good performance from him getting into the points. Edging out his fellow Frenchman, which is expected, to be honest, because I think Ocon has a much faster car. But going into the standings now, we're last in the championship still. Piastri is down to 18th now. Yeah, Carlos Sainz now actually takes the lead of the championship. So we have a new championship leader. Red Bull, 100 points in the constructors already. They're having a brilliant season. But Ferrari absolutely have been on it, and they've been doing a good job. They've been on it for the past 2 races, and that's good for them. But as you can see, the acclaim goes down quite a bit. It was definitely a struggle this weekend, and you look at the repair cost, we actually cost 40k in damage. Piastri didn't, so that front wing and damaging that and crashing was definitely not important, but since I owe the team, I'll pay back. So I got in a control team, and I'll try to fix it. As we go for a marketing event here.
News article has a question they'd like your input on.
So we actually have to choose our rival. So we have 3: Daniel Ricciardo, Lando Norris, Sebastian Vettel. First of all, I'm not going to beat any of these 3 because I'm just a horrible driver at this point. But potential rival, I was looking at the McLarens, but at the same time, Seb Vettel. Aston Martin's a little bit slower. Might as well go with Seb Vettel. As he is our new rival.
Thanks for handling that.
But thank you guys for watching this GP. It was actually really fun to do. But as we move on to Imola, hope you guys liked this video and have fun.